Let's not sugarcoat this. A young woman's attention can be intoxicating. It makes you feel seen again, wanted, alive. But behind that rush, there's danger. Because when you start changing your pace, your plans, your posture just to keep her interested, you've already started losing, not her. You. The version of you that was grounded, clear, and in control. And that's what she was drawn to in the first place. So if you want to stop sabotaging yourself without realizing it, you need to understand the rules of this dynamic. Here are 10 things you must never do with a younger woman, unless you're ready to lose both her and your own reflection. Some men call it love, others call it self-sabotage in disguise. So let me ask you, when an older man starts bending for a younger woman, is it wisdom to adapt or weakness to chase? Before we go any further, hit that subscribe button if you want more content that cuts through the noise. And tell me in the comments, when you see an older man overinvesting in a younger woman, do you see confidence or desperation? Your answers matter. They spark real conversations, and they reveal how different men interpret the same emotional game. Now stay with me, because what I'm about to show you will challenge what you thought was normal behavior and expose how it's quietly costing you everything. Number 1, stop trying to look young. Show her you're a man, not a mirror. Let me ask you something straight. When did being a grown man with life experience become something to be embarrassed about? I see too many men in their 50s trying to squeeze themselves into skinny jeans, learning TikTok dances, or dropping Gen Z slang like it's a damn survival skill. And all for what? So you can seem relatable? So she thinks you're cool? Here's the bitter pill. When you try to match her vibe, you kill your own. You're not supposed to match her. You're supposed to lead her. You're not a peer, you're a presence. And when you try to be one of them, you instantly lose what makes you different and valuable. You're not 25. You're not supposed to be. But that's your power, not your flaw. You've lived, built, failed, risen. You carry history in your hands and weight in your silence. When you shrink yourself to fit her world, you're telling her you don't believe yours is worth stepping into. Women don't fall for matching energy. They fall for masculine grounding. The calm confidence of a man who doesn't need approval to breathe. Let me give you an example. Richard, 52, software architect, financially secure, intelligent, decent looks. He starts dating a 27-year-old woman. First few dates, he's solid, calm, observant, present. Then it shifts. He begins wearing ironic t-shirts, talking about trending memes, forcing jokes that don't land. He even downloaded TikTok, posted a dance challenge. She laughed once, then lost interest. Why? Because the moment he traded his frame for hers, he lost his edge. You weren't built to chase youth. You were built to embody something she's never seen before: stability, clarity, and masculine command. So no, don't dye your hair. Don't start saying no cap. Don't pretend to be young. Be what she can't fake. Be what only time can shape. The moment you own your age without apology is the moment she realizes you're not competing with her world. You're inviting her into yours. Number 2, stop being her emotional trash can. You're not her therapist. If she starts every conversation with "Can I vent?" and you always say yes, you're not her man. You're her unpaid therapist with boundary issues. Let me break it down for you. When a young woman constantly dumps her emotional drama on you, from ex-boyfriend nightmares to work frustrations, it's not always because she trusts you. Sometimes it's because she knows you'll listen without asking anything in return. And that, my friend, is how you become her comfort zone, not her desire zone. I get it. You're a good man. You've lived long enough to know that listening is powerful. You've seen pain, so when she shares hers, you lean in. You feel useful, needed, important. You think, she tells me things she doesn't tell anyone else. Yeah, because she doesn't want to date the others. She just wants to offload on you. Let me show you what that looks like in real life. Steve, 49, divorced, kind-hearted, financially stable. He met a 26-year-old woman at a cafe, smart, gorgeous, slightly chaotic. They clicked, but within 2 weeks, he was spending hours on late-night calls, hearing about her toxic ex, her anxiety, her breakdowns. He thought he was building intimacy. 6 weeks later, she said, "I'm so grateful for you, Steve. You're like the big brother I never had." Brother, not lover, not partner, not even a possibility. Why? Because Steve blurred the line between emotional support and emotional sponge. And once you absorb enough of her mess, she'll stop seeing you as a man and start seeing you as a safety net. Here's the fix. Listen, but don't absorb. Be present, but don't participate. If she's spiraling every week, mirror it back with clarity. Sounds like you've got a lot going on. How are you handling that? That one line flips the frame. It signals that you're not here to catch her. You're watching to see how she moves. That's what a grounded man does. He doesn't rescue. He observes and only invests when a woman shows she's ready to rise, not just vent. You're not her therapist. You're not her diary. You're not a man she calls when she's sad. You're the man who doesn't make her want to fall apart in the first place. Number 3, stop chasing her validation. It's not her job to tell you you're enough. Let me be blunt. If you're texting her every morning just to get that dopamine hit from a good morning, if you're overthinking how long she takes to reply, if her silence ruins your whole day, then she's not your woman. She's your regulator. And you've already lost. Look, I get it. She's young, radiant, full of that intoxicating unpredictability. Every message from her feels like proof that you still got it. But here's the harsh truth. Needing her attention to feel worthy is the fastest way to kill her attraction. Because the moment she realizes you need her, emotionally, mentally, even digitally, you've handed her all the power. And now, she's no longer drawn to you. She's managing you. Let me give you a real-world slap-in-the-face story. Ben, 55, CEO of a medical tech company, smart, successful, respected. He meets a stunning 29-year-old at a fundraising event. Charismatic, flirty, playful. They hit it off. She gives him her number, and Ben, usually the calm, composed executive, becomes obsessed. He starts texting her every few hours, likes every post, reacts to every story, sends late-night thinking of you texts. And when she takes too long to reply, he spirals. Did I say something wrong? Should I double text? Maybe she's testing me. 2 weeks later, she ghosts. Why? Because he stopped being the man she noticed and became the boy who needed notice. Here's what you need to hear. Her validation feels good, but it's not nourishment. It's a drug. And if you need it, she'll sense it, and she'll test it. So flip the game. Let your attention be selective. Your time measured. Your presence earned. Let her feel your interest, but never your dependence. You're a man, not a fan. She's not your mirror. You don't need her to reflect your worth. You were already valuable before she showed up, and you'll be valuable long after she stops replying. Number 4, stop trying to impress her. Lead her without saying a word. You ever walk into a room and immediately know who the man in charge is? He doesn't talk the loudest. He doesn't flash the biggest watch. He doesn't tell you how many companies he's built or how many digits are in his portfolio. But you feel him. His presence walks in 5 seconds before he does. That's the man women follow. Not the guy bragging about his yacht. Not the guy who pays for 5-star dinners hoping for a kiss. And definitely not the guy listing every self-help book he's read just to sound deep. When you try to impress her, here's what she sees. A man who thinks she's out of his league. That's insecurity wearing a suit. You think gestures will buy attraction. That generosity will earn her respect. That effort equals intimacy. But what she actually wants is orientation. She wants to feel your decisiveness, your calm, your clarity, not hear about it. She wants to witness your ability to hold tension, not smooth it over. She wants to see you choose the restaurant, not ask her for the 3rd time, whatever you feel like. Here's the psychological punchline. The more you try to impress, the more you admit you're not enough as you are. And she picks up on that, quickly. So stop trying to be the loudest in the room. Be the most rooted. When she talks, listen deeply, not to respond but to understand. Ask questions that stop her in her tracks. Make her pause and think, wait, no one's ever asked me that before. That's presence. That's power. Let your silence hold weight. Let your eye contact challenge hers. Let your boundaries define your interest. If you feel the urge to prove something, pause. You've already slipped into the role of performer, not leader. Remember this. You don't win her over by chasing awe. You win her by being the gravity she didn't know she was drawn to. Number 5. Stop letting your imagination outrun reality. She's not your last chance. You met her twice, maybe 3 times. The chemistry was good. Her laugh hit you in that soft spot, and suddenly, your mind runs a damn marathon. You're picturing weekends together, introducing her to your grown kids, imagining how she might look waking up in your kitchen, barefoot, making coffee. You're not dating her. You're dating the idea of her. Here's the danger. The more you project, the more you invest. Not in who she is, but who you hope she could be. That's not love. That's fantasy with a face. And when the real her starts to contradict your fantasy, you either ignore the red flags or you implode. Let me bring this to life. Dean, 51, runs a logistics company. Tough guy, sharp mind. Meets a 28-year-old yoga instructor at a wellness retreat. Great energy. They grab coffee twice. He's hooked. She mentions she's not really looking for something serious right now, but Dean thinks, that'll change once she sees what I can offer. He cancels a business trip to be around just in case she wants to hang out. Starts texting daily, buying little gifts. Builds a whole damn future in his head. 2 weeks later, she texts, I'm not in the right headspace. You're amazing, but I'm not ready. Ghosted, flattened, confused. Why? Because Dean never dated her. He dated the potential. He chased a scenario, not a signal. Here's the wake-up call. Every woman you meet is a human being, not a missing piece. She's not a cure for your midlife loneliness. She's not proof you've still got it. And she's definitely not the reason to pause your life. So next time you catch your mind scripting a movie, stop. Ask, what do I actually know about her? Not what you feel, not what you hope, what you've seen. Ground yourself. Reality doesn't need special effects. It just needs you to stay present and read the damn signs. Because fantasy feels amazing until reality crashes the set. Number 6, stop being her plan B. If you're not her first choice, don't show up. If she only texts you when she's bored, drunk, or heartbroken, if she calls you reliable, so understanding, or the nicest guy I know, then congratulations, you're the human equivalent of a backup charger. Let's call it what it is. She doesn't want you. She wants access to you. She wants comfort, not commitment. Attention, not affection. And you're sitting there, mistaking convenience for connection. Let me tell you about Paul. Paul's 47, divorced, runs his own real estate firm, charismatic, level-headed. He meets a 26-year-old bartender at a networking event. She's fiery, unpredictable, emotionally all over the place. They start talking. She flirts heavy but always with disclaimers like, I'm not sure I'm ready. I'm kind of a mess right now. You're such a safe space. Translation, she's not in, but she wants you around. For months, Paul answered late-night texts. He was the guy she called when her car broke down, when her ex ghosted her, or when she had a panic attack. And Paul, he thought he was playing the long game. He believed being there consistently would eventually earn him her love. Instead, he earned the dependable brother badge, the one you don't sleep with. Because here's the truth most men refuse to swallow. If you're always there, you become background noise. And desire doesn't grow in predictability. It grows in polarity. She desires what challenges her, not what comforts her. So how do you stop being option B? Set a standard. If she only calls when it's convenient, stop answering. If she flakes, stop rescheduling. If she disappears and reappears, don't reward that. A woman who sees you as a maybe should never be your yes. You're not a side dish. You're the main course for someone who's hungry for you, not just emotionally snacking. Don't be the man she keeps around to soften her loneliness. Be the man she regrets losing because she couldn't meet you where you stood. Number 7. Stop sacrificing your mission for her mood. The moment you start skipping gym days because she misses you, canceling meetings because she had a rough morning, rearranging your schedule so she can feel more secure, is the moment you start bleeding out your masculinity. Listen closely. A man without a mission is just a boy waiting for direction. And if you've worked hard your whole life to build something, a business, a body, a mindset, why would you suddenly put it on hold for someone who hasn't even earned a seat in your life? Let me hit you with a real one. Jordan, 45, self-made entrepreneur, used to run a growing media agency, fit, focused, disciplined. Then he started dating a 25-year-old content creator. At first it was fire. She was magnetic, unpredictable, wild. But soon the, "Can you skip gym and come over?" started rolling in. The, "You work too much" guilt trips. The, "I don't feel prioritized" passive-aggressive jabs. So Jordan started saying yes. Yes to missed workouts. Yes to rescheduling client calls. Yes to lazy Tuesdays that turned into emotionally charged Wednesdays. 2 months in, he's out of rhythm, out of shape, and strangely, out of confidence. Why? Because he handed his structure to someone still figuring out who she is. He didn't lose her. He lost himself trying to keep her. Here's what you need to remember. Women don't fall in love with sacrifice. They fall in love with direction. With the man who wakes up and moves, even when she's storming. Your mission, your health, your career, your discipline is not optional. It's the pillar of your presence. You're not here to orbit her chaos. You're here to stand so firm in your lane that she wants to join your trajectory, not derail it. The man she respects doesn't apologize for living with purpose. So next time she asks, "Can you skip that thing for me?" look her in the eye and say, "No, but you're welcome to join me once I'm done." Number 8. Stop dropping your boundaries just because she's testing you. Let's get this straight. She will test you. Not because she's cruel, not because she's manipulative, but because she wants to know, are you a man who bends under pressure or a man who holds his ground? You see, most men confuse being flexible with being agreeable. They think saying yes makes them more likable. That compromising equals care. But here's what's really happening when you fold your standards to accommodate her moods. You teach her that your center is negotiable. The more you adjust, the less she trusts your spine. And once she senses you're easily swayed, emotionally, mentally, or physically, she stops respecting you. Respect dies long before attraction does. And once it's gone, so is she. Let's get specific. She makes a snide comment about your shirt. "Ugh, that's so dad vibe." You laugh awkwardly and change it. She pushes you to skip your brother's birthday to hang out with her last minute. You say yes, even though you already made plans. She jokes about other men in front of you just to see if you'll react. You pretend it doesn't bother you, but inside you're spiraling. Each time you flinch, you shift, you accommodate, and you think you're handling it maturely, but in her eyes, you're shrinking. Here's the reframe. A test is not a threat. It's an invitation to reveal who you really are. When you calmly say, "I like this shirt, I wear what I like," when you respond, "I already have plans, but let's talk about tomorrow." When you look at her sideways and say, "You done with that little performance?" that's when she feels it. Your boundaries are not walls. They're the architecture of your character. And if you tear them down for comfort or chemistry, you're not loving her. You're abandoning yourself. The strongest men aren't loud. They're just unmoved. So when she tries to shake you, don't raise your voice, don't play along, don't explain. Hold your frame. Number 9. Stop trying to buy her time. Let her invest in you first. If you're always the one driving across town, paying for dinners, concerts, weekend getaways, sending flowers after she cancels on you, then you're not courting her. You're funding her indecision. Let's break this down. There's a quiet desperation in men who overinvest early. Not because they're generous, but because they're afraid to lose her before she feels it. So they give and give and give. But here's the psychological backfire. People don't value what's handed to them freely. They value what they've worked to earn. And when a woman sees you constantly giving without requiring effort, accountability, or reciprocity, she puts you in the same category as a free sample at Costco. Easy to grab, easy to forget. You're not the steak, you're the toothpick. Now, I'm not saying don't be generous, but generosity without discernment is just emotional bribery. You're trying to make her stay. Instead, make her choose. How? Simple. Watch how she invests. Does she text first sometimes? Does she offer to meet halfway? Does she remember things you say and bring them up later? If the answer is always no, then stop flooding her with energy she's not earning. Your time, money, attention, these are not neutral resources. They're currency. And currency spent without return isn't romantic. It's pathetic. Want to flip the frame? Pull back. Let her feel the silence. Let her notice your absence. Let her wonder why the man who always replied doesn't anymore. That's when she steps up. Or steps out. Either way, you win. Because a man who knows his value doesn't audition. He offers opportunity. And only to those who bring something to the table. You don't buy space in someone's heart. You build it together. Or you walk away with your dignity intact. Number 10. Stop giving her your depth before she earns it. You've lived. You've been broken. You've rebuilt. You've bled for people who walked away and come back stronger, sharper, quieter. That depth, that pain-turned wisdom, that quiet strength forged in the fire, it's not free. But too many older men, aching to connect, desperate to be seen, hand it over like a gift bag at the end of a first date. They spill stories about their ex-wife, their darkest moments, their childhood wounds, all in hopes that she'll see how real they are. Let me tell you what she actually sees: weight, pressure, emotion she hasn't earned the right to hold. Mark, 53, retired military, now works in executive security. Stoic, grounded, but lonely. He meets a 30-year-old at a wine tasting, artsy, witty, emotionally curious. She asks, "What's the hardest thing you've ever been through?" He opens up, tells her about a mission gone wrong, the guilt, the years of therapy, the divorce that followed. She listens, nods, smiles, says, "Wow, that's deep." 2 days later, she ghosts. Why? Because Mark gave her his soul before she'd even shown up emotionally. She didn't reject his story. She rejected the burden of being handed intimacy she hadn't earned. Here's the rule. Your emotional world is a kingdom. Access requires keys. And keys are earned through time, consistency, and reciprocal effort. Stop assuming that vulnerability equals connection. It doesn't. Vulnerability too soon equals pressure. You want to share your scars? Good. But wait until she's proven she can hold space without fleeing. Until she's offered her own truths. Until she's invested enough that your story becomes shared ground, not a weight she didn't sign up for. The strongest men don't hide their pain. They honor it by guarding it until the right person comes along. So no, don't trauma dump on the second date. Let her earn your depth. Let her show up consistently without you bleeding to keep her close. Because your story is sacred, and not everyone deserves a front row seat. Let's bring it all home. This isn't about avoiding young women. This isn't about being bitter, guarded, or emotionally closed off. It's about remembering who the hell you are before anyone comes along and makes you forget. Because the truth is brutal. You don't lose the girl because you're older. You lose her. Or more importantly, you lose yourself when you start shrinking to fit her world. When you compromise your frame. When you chase her approval like oxygen. When you confuse her chaos for chemistry. When you throw your depth at her like it's a party trick instead of a privilege. You want to know what really pulls a young woman into a mature man's orbit? Not gifts, not attention, not constant availability. It's his ability to stand in his story, unshaken, unapologetic, and completely unwilling to negotiate his integrity for temporary intimacy. That man, he doesn't need to impress her. He doesn't need to win her. He lets her rise to meet him, or watch her drift away while he keeps walking. You are not here to audition for affection. You are not here to buy love with availability. You are here to offer something rare: presence, purpose, poise. And if she can't meet that, she's not supposed to stay. So here's the final reminder, in case no one's told you in a while: you're not behind. You're not washed up. You're not too late. You're just too valuable to be bending for anyone who hasn't earned your gravity. Let her chase the noise. You be the stillness. And if you're ready to stop contorting yourself just to keep someone interested, if you're ready to reclaim your posture, your pace, your purpose, comment below. I stay grounded, because the moment you stop chasing is the moment they start wondering where you went. And that is when the game flips.